Okay. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Great Biafrans all over the world, wherever you are watching from, I greet you according to your time zone. Hi, Facebook. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you and I welcome you to this edition where we are going to be talking about many things that just happened. Of course, if you are following the news, you will understand that a lot has just happened. Many things happened in few days ago. Many things happened. The Fulani terrorist on a killing spree. Not only Fulani terrorist on a killing spree, you find the northern governors donate 180 million to victim of Kaduna air mishap, which is after the Nigeria military bombardment on the northern people, which they called accident. Their own people, their own governors, actually donated 180 million to them. Another thing that actually caught my attention that we are going to be talking about is a Supreme Court verdict on, okay, um, what is the meaning? Okay, a son who said that the Supreme Court verdict is consistent. There is a son who said that the Supreme Court verdict is consistent. So we're going to actually, if we have time, to actually ask, we're going to ask that son exactly what is the meaning of Supreme Court verdict consistent. If you want us to have a better broadcast, if you come in, you share the video. If you share the video, we know that Facebook is dealing with us decisively, such as also YouTube is dealing with us decisively. But if you come in, you're watching, you click the like button before you do the sharing. If you come in, you click the like button before you do the sharing. That is your job, because when so many of you when I am telling our people the you know historical fact that links them to the Bible, many of you will ask Judge Money, why are you not talking about Biafra anymore? So I am talking about Biafra. It is now, why are you not liking the video and sharing it? That is the question I am going to throw at many of you. Of course, many of you, I know that many of those who are asking this question, they are ignorant and they have nothing to offer. They just want to, demoralize you in everything you are doing. And especially many of them are followers of Matthias Ezak, because I have seen that many followers of Matthias Ezak cannot distinguish from stating a historical fact and championing religious affiliation. So that is the problem they have. Many of them are ignorant. So that is the reason why, when they tell me that, I actually give them a response immediately, because so many of them, when they come to approach you, you will think that they have something to offer. You will find out that ever since this struggle started, it is only looking for one platform to another to go and gossip. They use the picture of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu looking for where the gossip is going on. That is what this type of people are doing. You will never see them when they come into your broadcast to like it. If you don't want to like it, don't share it. That's it. If you cannot like the video, don't share it. Leave it. Let me and Facebook, we're not doing with the number. Let us actually see, let Facebook do it alone. If you want to share it, you like it first. If you cannot like it, you don't share it, because if you don't like it and you share it, it does not make sense. It will not go anywhere. So it is important that we continue to educate our people and make sure that we expose those things that are very, very important to be exposed. If you look at the activities and the things that are happening in Nigeria, let me also look at this or actually remind you of what. Okay, Central Bank Governor Emefiele to sue investigators say Buhari approved Naira redesign. Buhari approved Naira redesign. Now, if you see this type of things, I hope you understand where it will take you. When you see this type of news, I hope you will know exactly where it is going to take you to. It is simply going to remind you that even the fight against Emefiele, Emefiele is not supposed to be the victim of this fight. But what you see is the person that they will be able to deal with. I am coming there. When we get there, you will learn something very, very important with that piece of news that I have for you. But while you are joining us, share this video, like the video before you share. Like I said, if you cannot like, do not share. If you cannot like, do not share. Maybe you listen. Now, listen to this. There is another very, very interesting story that I have seen. And this is actually what prompted me to come online. Of course, you will notice that we've not been coming online because, Facebook is not encouraging, and the people who are supposed to do the job of sharing and liking the video, they are not encouraging. So we use our time to do short videos. So now, this is the story that actually caught my attention. I want you to actually look at this story. It is actually an evidence. It is an evidence to show you that what we've been saying, that the war has never ended, it is the truth. So I want you to see this. When you look at the story that says Igbo integration into mainstream Nigeria politics has just begun, that is what Shetima said to the Igbo people. And I am wondering, and I am actually trying to understand the meaning of what this Shetima said. The real meaning of what Shetima says is because it is exactly what, they have the way they have deprived P2B from his mandate. That is the reason why Shetima made this comment. But I am going to read it. We're going to give it a pure full analysis on that. But the first question we need to ask Tinubu and the Supreme Court and the judiciary of Nigeria is, why is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in arbitrary detention whilst Sunday Igbogho is free like a bird? Were they not committing the same thing that they called crime in Nigeria? Because Nigeria sees self-determination as a crime. Why is one criminal treated brutally than the other criminal? Because according to Nigeria and according to the government of Nigeria, it says that self-determination is a criminal act and must be treated like a criminal act. And that is exactly what they have done over the years by taking Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, kidnapping him, and taking him into custody. After taking him, they went and took Sunday Igbogho, whom was actually believing in self-determination as well, who is also on the quest for secession and total liberation of his people, the Oduduwa people, and total separation from Nigeria. Now, Sunday Igbogho is a free man. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is still kept in the dungeon. Now you begin to ask yourself, what exactly does this entail? What this means is that when you see people like Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, you will understand that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu represents Biafrans. And Biafra is those area that is mapped out, that is singled out among every geopolitical location in Nigeria or geographical location in Nigeria. Biafra people or Biafra are the people or the area that is mapped out for total intimidation, total exclusion, map out for economic exclusion. Biafra is that place that is there just to make up the number of 200 million of Nigeria. They are not there as equal Nigerians. They are not there as those who have the right to vote and be voted for. They have no right to vote and to be voted for. Biafrans have no right to actually travel and establish. They have no right to create social cohesion. They have no right for movement. They have no freedom of movement or freedom of association. They have no right to freedom of secession. They have no right to freedom of self-determination. They have no right for freedom of speech or freedom of exercise, freedom of expression. They have no right for freedom of expression. Biafran people are this place in Nigeria that is not seen as part of Nigeria, but is seen as the tool that they will use and the place they will extract their mineral resources and use it to, to create benefit for the North and the West. They use Biafra land to create benefit for the North and the West. And those who are not helping the situations are the people we call our political leaders in the Eastern Nigeria. They are not helping the situation because they themselves understand exactly what I am talking about, that there is lack of inclusivity in this region of Biafra. There is no economic opportunity for Biafrans. That is the reason, that is exactly what prompted the movement for self-determination. That is what prompted the movement for secession. And the whole world, we have created this awareness. It is out there in the open. No one will say that they are not aware of it. That is the very reason why we will continue to push. And the most important way and the finest way I have understood of seeing to fight for freedom of this magnitude is to start boycott and the innovation. Because if our people will boycott staying in Lagos to do business, going back to their land, that is boycotting, Lagos and their Abuja and all these places belonging to Nigeria, going back to their land to do business, to establish their mansions, to build everything they want to build, create a seaport. That is boycott and innovation. If we begin to boycott anything or any place where Nigeria is holding us for ransom, that is how your freedom will come so quickly. But as much as you are actually taking everything that is in your basket to the Lagos, taking everything in your basket to Abuja, taking everything in your basket to the Kaduna state, and you will tell us that it is because these places, they have access to water. Our importation, we cannot do this and do that. We start building, that is innovation, our seaport. We start building our airport. That is innovation. When we innovate and boycott, it means that the whole world will know these people are literally, ready for freedom. But as much as we are still acknowledging that, or we are still accepting that treatment being given to us by the Nigeria state and the Nigerian people, because the way they treat us is an evidence that we don't belong there. We are not part of that British project called Nigeria. We are just there because we make profit for the project. And the day you stop making profit for the project, that is the day they will not need you anymore. They won't need you to be there anymore. And the profit you are making for Nigeria, it is the oil that is coming out of your land. Now imagine in 2030, imagine in 2050, when this fossil fuel will be done away with. Imagine this era that is coming up when there will no longer be carbon emission engines. There will no longer be, the demand for fossil fuel. There will no longer be the demand for diesel. Crude oil, it will no longer be in a high demand. What is going to be the fate of you as Biafran in Biafra land? Because the only reason why you are still seen, or you are still even being given gubernatorial position, it is because there is still something coming out of your land. They are just nursing you, because they use the people who are supposed to speak on your behalf. They use them as their willing tool, and these people will become the agent of their oppression against ordinary people. And that is exactly what Nigeria has been able to achieve over the years. And that is exactly what has been keeping Nigeria one. But it is imperative that our people need to start understanding exactly the reason why this one Nigeria is hurting them the most. Because it is a psychological warfare in a situation whereby everything you are looking for, they make inadequate opportunity for you to access such things. And once they make inadequate opportunity for you to access such things, if there is any one of your own people who want to access such thing, that person becomes your competitor. Not just your competitor, becomes your enemy automatically, because it is like giving people who are starving, 1,000 people starving, you give them only 100 oranges. 100 oranges, they are 1,000. What are they going to do? They have to start killing themselves in order to get one orange, because it is not going to be enough. But if it was 1,000 oranges given to them, they have to stand queue in order to take the oranges. But they will always give you inadequate opportunity that will not be enough for all of you. Therefore, you have to create enmity within one another. So this is about psychological warfare that these people are actually creating against us, but we are dancing to their tone. That is the reason why you have seen those whom you see as Biafra billionaires, because they know how they, what they did in order to access that position, or the status where they have occupied. It will, even if you warrant them to, even kill their own people to maintain that status quo on in their life, they will do it, because they believe that this opportunity comes but once you miss it, you can never achieve it anymore. So that is the reason why it makes them to be very brutal. It radicalizes them because of lack of opportunities that is that is actually, in our land, against the Biafran people. Now, because of that lack of opportunities, you will not have opportunity to, compete. That is what makes Biafra land to be the most unequal place. Most unequal place. We know that there is no statistics that will carry it out, but Biafra land is one of the most unequal place in the world, where the rich people are here, while the poor people are there. And before you will even access to say hi to the rich person, you must be able to know somebody who is here. And that person must know somebody who is here. That person must know somebody who is here. Before you will be able to access that rich person, because automatically that rich person is seeing you as a weapon against him, because you are poor. Because poverty is actually a disease. Believe you me, poverty is a disease. Now, for you to know that poverty is an institution that is actually created against our people, institution created for our people, against our people rather, that this institution is where they will, once they pick you up from that institution and make you, no matter what it takes you to stay there, you don't mind whether it is to kill your parents, kill your people, betray your people, cause war against your people, let military kill your people. It does not matter to you because it is an opportunity that comes but once. That is how dangerous what situation called poverty is. And now, having understood the reason why they have to make it the way it is, because they know that once you've suffered so long, you will start actually developing a sickness called Stockholm syndrome. That Stockholm syndrome is when you will see people oppressing you. You will only be looking for a way to make them friends, thinking they will have something for you. They will never have something for you. The situation or the plans has always been to keep you there so that you will be a kind of instrument for them at any time they want to make use of you. So those of you who are being hired in the media space, people like Ijele, which is Atolo Fulani, those type of people, when you see them, you see that this is the reason why institution called poverty is created. So that when they pick you up from such institution, whatever it takes you to be, making the ends meet, you don't mind whether it is to betray your people, whether it is to make enemy from where your end is, which is your home, where you come from. Regardless of anything that happens, you must go back home. That is where you come from. You don't mind creating enmity there. You don't mind even hanging somewhere else, not because you are fighting for freedom of your people, not because you are doing something positive for your people, but because you have made enmity with your people. So you have to now hibernate from your people. So that is the reason why they have created poverty, so that many of you who are in this position called poverty will now develop Stockholm syndrome to an extent that you will never agree that these people that you have said you that claim you have selected them to be your own representative in the upper echelon, that they are not representing you. You will never realize that these people are not representing you. The only thing that you will think about is a governor. Maybe one day, once I meet the governor, or one day when I get into politics, I will become a big boy. The only thing you will be eyeing, just like Peter Obi is now eyeing presidential position in Nigeria, because all he is eyeing is presidential position. All of these people are suffering what I call Stockholm syndrome. It is not as a being prejudiced against anybody, but this is the reality of what we have come to see ourselves into. Because if Peter Obi is not suffering from Stockholm syndrome, he is not going to actually, you know, tell you to postpone a revolution. To postpone a revolution. Should I show you why? Let me tell you why. Don't forget, before I tell you why, the last 50 something years after the war, where they declared no victor, no vanquish, which is a pure fallacy. Now, you have not been integrated into the mainstream politics in Nigeria. In the last 50 some, in fact, in the last, I believe, almost 6 decades, you've not been integrated into Nigeria politics, mainstream politics of Nigeria. It is only because Peter Obi came and gained momentum. That is the reason why the Fulani oligarch is now coming to tell you that the Igbo people are now being integrated into the mainstream politics of Nigeria. And this is only to keep you on a limbo. That's exactly what the plan is, to place you there where you will be hanging in a state of having faith. Maybe after 4 years, I will get there. 4 years' time, I must get there. That is the reason why Shetima has to come up to say what he said. Let me bring the news to you before we proceed. Let me bring the news for you before we proceed. But before the news, let me remind you of something.
And gas from Biafra land. If they go now, we'll have access to oil and gas. In the process, all of you never knew that IPOB and this Biafra movement was for your liberation. Some of you saw maybe the oil and gas from Biafra land. If they go now, we'll have access to oil and gas. In the process of having your eyes fixated on oil and gas, your forest is gone. Do you understand it? Every Yoruba person supporting Fulani, you are setting up yourself to become like the Hausa people. Remember when Hausa was supporting Fulani? We are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Where are the Hausa people today? I ask you. Where are those Hausa people today?
Now, let me prove to you this about the Yoruba people. I will prove to you about the Yoruba people before we will continue. Before we go to the Igbo people, let me prove to you about this thing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said about Yoruba people. Because Yoruba people believe that they are with Fulani. You know, whenever they begin to believe they are with Fulani, they begin to make sentiment against the Igbos. They begin to demolish houses belonging to Igbos. They believe that Fulani is with them. They do not know what that man called Tinubu did before he became the president of Nigeria. Do you think that Tinubu just woke up and said it is his turn before he became president of Nigeria? No. Tinubu did everything against all odds. Against all odds. Against Peter Obi's mandate. Against Fulani's, sabotage. He did everything to make sure that he becomes the president of Nigeria. It is not given to him on a platter of gold. He rigged himself into that position against all odds. Let me prove it to you. Let me prove it to you with these things with Emifere. Before we go to the next news, let me prove it to you first. Before we go to what I wanted to show you. Now, one moment. I hope you are seeing what is here. Now, let me prove something to you for you quickly. Now, I want us to read the ordeal of Emifele and how Emifele responded for you to see exactly what Tinubu went through to become the president. Listen to this. Central Bank governor Emifele to sue investigators say Buhari approved Naira redesign, denies opening 593 foreign account. Now, just take this 593 foreign account to, take it out from there. Now, let us now understand who is Tinubu fighting. Is it Emifele or is it Fulani? Now, let's hear. I want you to find out whom is Tinubu fighting. Is it really Emifele or is he fighting for the Fulanese oligarchy? One moment. Now, we read, former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emifele, has denied finding by the special investigator appointed by President Bola Tinubu in his report, which indicated him, or which indicted him rather, and described him as corrupt. Now, in a statement on Sunday, Emifele, who said he had he had instructed his lawyer to immediately commence legal action to clear his name from the defamatory statement contained in the report. The report The report indicated rather that the board of Central Bank of Nigeria was not involved in the decision to redesign the new currency notes, adding that the initiative was suggested to former governor by then President Muhammadu Buhari, Editunde Editunde Sabihu during his visit to President Villa in September 2022. Are you paying attention? It was not the central government who actually moved the motion for the redesigning of Naira. And the reason why it came from the office of the president led by Fulani, it was only because they wanted that money to be, taken away, currency to be taken away, so that Tinubu will not have enough money from the bank to use it to bribe INEC. So that Tinubu will not have enough money to use it to bribe officials who are going to make him president. Because the Fulani-led government, who was led by an imposter called Muhammad Buhari, during that time, the plan was not to give anybody from the south the leadership. The plan was to go through a serious contestation so that the Fulanis will take it again. But unfortunately, Tinubu said that he helped Buhari when he was still alive to ascend that throne. So it is his turn. And if they did not give him his turn, he is going to expose all the atrocities of Fulani in the past 5 years that was happening in Aso Rock. So Fulanis wanted now fronted Emifele. They fronted Emifele to use him to redesign the Nigeria currency in order to suffer those who are like Tinubu, who is going to use the money to actually, bribe some officials so that he will not have enough currency to bribe, to do his bribery for election malpractices and election rigging. That was the reason why Buhari impostor in Aso Rock, led by Garba Shehu and cabal of Fulanis, were able to, push that agenda for redesigning of Nigeria currency so that it will not be available. And it was not available for anybody. Of course, however, Tinubu was a bullion van. He is a bullion van. So they made it to spite Tinubu because they know that he is the only person who will want to do whatever it takes to get into position of power, not Peter Obi, because they know Peter Obi is not willing to bring his money out in order to bribe anybody. They know Atiku is not willing. Atiku Aki Eluho, he doesn't stand a chance when it comes to bribery. It is Tinubu, who is a guy man from 1997 or from 1990. He's a guy man. He's a street. He knows everything. He knows how to make impossibilities to become possible. So that is the reason why the Fulanese oligarch decided that they will now take away the money. They took away the money so that this man will not have enough for rigging himself into the position of power. But before then, his intel is also working for him. Now, what actually surprises me in the case is that everything that this man's supposed to do against the imposter or whoever they claim is Buhari in Aso Rock during that time, whatever he's supposed to do against these people is now being done against Emifele. is now being done against Emefiele. Why is Emefiele now the victim of all this decision made by the man from the upper echelon, which was called Muhammad Buhari? Because he was the one who actually, brought that initiative, moved that motion, and signed it for there be a redesigning of currency, and they seize that, and for the seizure of all this money from flowing up and down, they claim it is to, they want the bank, in a bank system, to, what was the excuse they gave, that people could not access their money? They say that they want all the money to go through the banking system. They want through the money to go through the banking system. It was to spite Tinubu. Now, Tinubu could not fight Fulani. Tinubu could not fight the imposter because he's an imposter. Where will he find him? We'll go and call it. He cannot fight him. So that is the reason why you see Tinubu now focusing and fighting Emefiele. That is the reason why you see Emefiele telling them that he is not the one who made the decision to redesign. Let me read it again, in case if you didn't hear it. The report indicated that the board of Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) was not involved in the decision to redesign the new currency note, adding that the initiative was suggested to former CBN governor by then President Muhammad Buhari's aide, Tunde Sabihu, during his visit to the presidential villa in September 2022. Now, you say, was still. Emefiele, according to the report, left behind a debt of over 30 billion incurred for the printing of the currency, as only 31.7 billion of the contract sum had been paid at the time of his leaving the office. Now, you understand that everything they did it to make sure that Tinubu does not get there. And they noticed that is the reason why. That was the reason why everything that was rigged, everything that was done. That's why they placed Atiku on second. Atiku on second because Atiku was the man they were planning to place on top. But the buying power Tinubu had was, bigger than all of them. That was the reason why he sat on top, and Atiku sat on the second, and Omoibo sat on the last, so that he will not even stand any chance. Omoibo, they placed him on the last. Atiku, as Fulani placed him as their first choice. Tinubu placed himself as the Nigeria first choice because he has the upper hands. He has the money. He has the money. He can even bribe Atiku on top of Atiku. So for you to understand that he went against all odds to become the president or first citizen of Nigeria, that was exactly what transpired. And that is the reason why himself is very interested in Emefiele. Let me read this part again. Former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), Governor Emefiele, has denied finding by the special investigator appointed by President Bola Tinubu in his report, which indicted him and described him as corrupt. Did you hear that? President Tinubu is the man who is dealing with Emefiele directly. Are you seeing it? But he is not looking for the man who approved the redesigning of Naira. The redesigning of Naira. He didn't look for that president because he has a right to even jail a president. He has a right to hold a president to account, ex-president to account, right? But he's not doing it. He is not doing it. He is not even trying to hold the ex-president to account. But what he does not want to stop doing, it is to stop tackling Emifele, because Emifele is a Biafran. And Emifele is the one that was in front the Fulani government used to try to stop Tinubu from ascending the throne. He was the one they tried to use. Maybe he might not even know what he was being used for. Because the institution called poverty place in Biafra land, you will say, oh, you will be, once you get into a position of leadership, you become yes, oh yeah member. Yes, oh yeah member. I am not saying that this institution is only in Igbo land. This institution is in the old eastern region, Biafra land. If 12 states make Biafra land, that is where this poverty called institution called poverty is established. So that when they pick you up, they will use you to do any bidding they want to do. After using you, they will dump you somewhere on the side of the road. And when they dump you, nobody is going to pick you up. You will be there and pay for your crime because you are a Biafran. You are always the person that is being used to actually, show other people what could be done. Now, I want you to see, where is the president? What is the president of Nigeria emeritus who approved the redesigning of currency in order to sabotage the Tinubu administration from ascending the throne of leadership? Where is now that president who approved or who actually suggested the redesigning and approving the redesigning of that currency called Naira? Pre-election. Where is that person? He is nowhere to be found. He is resting wherever they are, maybe in Niger Republic or in Daura. He is just resting there. But the people that he gave orders are now paying for the crime that he directly committed. Why is that? For you to see what is going on. Tinubu knows that there is no president. There was no president for 5 years. So he has to deal with those who work with the imposter. And that is the reason why he has to deal decisively with Emifele. Now, ask Tinubu, why is he not dealing with Malami Abubakar, the Attorney General of Federation Emeritus, who was actually accused of 600 billion of Nigerian money, who is actually accused of corruption? Why are they not trending? Why are they not called to justice system? Why? Because you as a Biafran, when you do something, even if you are commanded to do it from the person that is on top, you will pay for it. You will be the one to pay the price, not those people on top. That is the reason why the imposter in Asorok is gone free. He's on a free lunch. That is the reason why Malami, who is on also a free lunch. And that actually will now tell you that Tinubu was also involved in the kidnap of Nnamdi Kanu. This old indication is leading us that Tinubu was also involved in the kidnap of Nnamdi Kanu. Through Catriona Lang, the former British ambassador to Nigeria. They were all involved in that. And that is the reason why Tinubu was able to release his own brother. The Yoruba people were able to release their own people, their own brother, Igbogho. They were able to release him. And he's become a free man. Release the 4 men that was actually found with him, that was in DSS dungeon all this while. They were able to release them. But he cannot release the Biafran man. So, but he cannot release the Biafra man. because Emefiele is also a Biafran. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, a Biafran. So for you to understand that Biafran people's issues are treated special and aggressively, you will understand that Emefiele, what he's going through, is as a result of where he come from. It's not as a result of him being corrupt. So that is exactly what is going on. That is exactly what is going on. And the earlier the Biafran people understand it, the better for them. Regardless of which political, geopolitical location are you in Biafra land. Whether you are called South Side, in the coast, in the hinterland, it does not matter. As long as you are Biafran, you go collect woto from Nigeria. And they know. And they are not being apologetic about it. Whatever they are doing, they are actually doing it purposely. They know that you, as a Biafran, as an old Eastern region, you don't belong here. They are aware of that. So now, having shown you, I have shown you the reason why Emefiele is going through what he's going through, because he's a Biafran and he was used by Fulani, and because Tinubu cannot deal with Fulani directly, so he has to deal with Emefiele. He has to deal with Emefiele in order to show prove to you that your crime is special. Whatever you do is special, regardless of who commands the army. It doesn't matter. The army must pay for what they did, but the commander will be free. But the commander will be free. Now, let us leave this one behind. Let us now bring to you the real thing, because I just explained that video of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Let me bring you the Shetima's testimony or confession. Shetima's confession. Let's go into Shetima's confession. Okay. Igbo integration into mainstream politics has begun. Shetima, Vice President Kashim Shetima has stated that the process of integrating Igbo into the mainstream Nigeria politics has begun. Shetima was quoted in a statement. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? That is an evidence to show you that you have been there as the people who they used to complete the number 200 million people. You have been there ever, after the war, that they have made peace. They have come to a resolution with Britain that Biafran people will not have right to be voted for and vote or right to vote. They will not have right to vote and to be voted for. And that is the reason why Shetima is making this statement. And this statement is an indictment to Nigeria state and Nigeria status quo. So in the last almost 6 decades, Igbo people has been excluded in the mainstream of Nigeria politics. In the last 6 decades, they've been excluded. Pardon me, in the almost 6 decades, more than 50 years ago, Igbo people has been marginalized on their right to vote and be voted for. They have been deprived such right because they are Biafrans. Because they are Biafrans. Goodluck went into the position of president or first citizen of Nigeria accidentally because death took Yaradua. If not that death took Yaradua, Goodluck Jonathan will never smell that position of leadership. All of you are aware of it, except if you want to, be in the denial of it. Even what actually led to the death of Dora Akunyalo, it was what Fulani plotted to do to deprive Goodluck Jonathan of such position, because Dora Akunyalo, people in likes of Dora Akunyalo, exposed the plans that the Fulani government had to actually hide away from the world the death of Yaradua. It is one of the reasons why Dora Akunyalo is no longer with us. Now, Goodluck Jonathan became a president of Nigeria accidentally. It is not because they just wanted to give this part of Biafrans to be the first citizen. It is accident. They had nothing, they couldn't do anything about it. That is the reason why after 4 years, they actually confiscated it. They did not even wait for a minute to take it away. Even if you warrant that they have to now use the US President Emeritus in the likes of Barack Obama, who is uninformed of what people are going through in Nigeria, but he just actually, promote the Americans' interest on the expense of the people of Nigeria, especially the people of Biafra. In order to remove Goodluck Jonathan from the position of power, because it was a mistake for a Biafran man to become a president of Nigeria. And they did it. So now Shetima is now telling you, not Shetima Yerima, Shetima is now telling us that it is only now, after they have deprived Peter Obi of his mandate, Peter Obi of Biafra extraction, of his mandate, they are now consoling you that you are being integrated into the mainstream politics of Nigeria. It is quite absurd. It is what in fact, you will call this the insult of the highest order. Yet you see these people who are clamoring for Igbo presidency, Sikwafi Igbo president Asilofa, all these years. So you've been deceiving us that you are representing us. You are going to be the president of Nigeria, or you are going to make it another time wasting strategy. They've been wasting our time in the past 50 years plus, in the name that this person will be the president of Nigeria. Okadibo will be president of Nigeria. At the end of the day, Okadibo, they killed him. They will tell you, it is the turn of Ndibo. Maybe, what is the name of this man? They will tell you, what is the Kafan Kabiane Bakwa Katolo? Honorable Nigeria Aqua, because he has betrayed his people to the highest order just to keep one Nigeria going. To tell him that he is going to be the next president of Nigeria. They will promise Dave Umahi, you will be the next president of Nigeria. They will promise all of you, knowing that they control the people who control Nigeria election. So Ojuzo Kalu, they will tell Ojuzo Kalu, you will be the president of Nigeria just after Buhari. Don't worry. Don't worry. Thank you very much, Karagold. They will tell you that just after Buhari, you will be the president. They will tell Ojuzo Kalu, tell Devil Omahi They will also tell P2B, they will tell all of you at once that you will be the president of Nigeria. Don't worry. Just to continue to delay you. While this sustaining the project called Nigeria that is in benefiting Britain and the Fulani, it is not even benefiting ordinary Fulani or ordinary Hausa people. It is only benefiting their political elite and political class and their friends. That is the worst part of it, this, conundrum. When you see that the Fulanese or the Hausa people, even some Fulanese are being killed on a daily basis by the Fulanese terrorists. Just like you heard a few days ago. That how the terrorists killed, and they will call it header farmer clash. They will tell you it's a climate change, just like the man called Buhari that has been telling the world it is a climate change. The headers and the farmers are clashing due to climate change. I am wondering or trying to understand what the man called Tinubu is going to say. Who is holding Nnamdi Kanu in arbitrary detention? Because Nnamdi Kanu fought against the Fulani taking over Nigeria and Fulanizing everybody. Had it been Fulani took over Nigeria, this man called Tinubu will not stand a chance to even rig himself into the position of power. The Supreme Court and the Election Tribunal will not stand a chance to even rule for on his favor. To his favor, they will not stand a chance. Supreme Court will not stand a chance because you will be Aromajiri, you will be Fulanized, you will be under Fulani control system. But Nnamdi Kanu saw this and prevented it, and created awareness that Sunday Igbogho and his people prevented it from happening in the western part of Nigeria, which the Nigeria Fulani oligarch labeled them terrorists. And they went to Kenya to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu, invaded Igbogho's home. And after this, they called these two people criminals that need to be killed. And they took these two people they called criminals into the custody. Now, one of the people they called criminal is out because his brother is now in the position of first citizen of Nigeria. He is out. Who is going to release Nnamdi Kanu? Because none of his brother is a first citizen of Nigeria, and none of his people have mouth. If all these governors, senators, or you saw if Uba came to talk, if we don't get a position in the red chamber, we will know that we are being excluded in Nigeria. Did you get the position of red chamber? No. After that, did you do any other thing? No. You went and started looking for other opportunity in a political space. You did not actually try to prove to Nigeria that what you say, you meant it. They will never take any of you serious, and we can never take any of you serious because none of you is seriously trying to prove to this Fulani oligarchy led by Britain that we are tired of this mess up that they've created called Nigeria. You have never stood up firmly to say that to them. Because you cannot stand up firmly to say that to them, they will continue to make you a puppet. And what, one day I know that in I red chamber, your iron red chamber, from iron red chamber, I work with president. Iburu president, if I knew, Boga Wagnava, Oman Wagnava. Only Igbo, Ulu president na Biafra land, Oga Wagnafa, no, Oman Wagnafa. So why then are you chasing a clout? Why then are you Biafran elite, political elite? Why are you people acting as if you don't have a choice? The oil that Nigeria is breathing on is found in your land. Why are you then being treated as a second or third or fourth citizens of Nigeria, fourth class citizens of Nigeria, instead of a bona fide citizen that you're supposed to be, because they have seen that you are not part of them. They just need the oil to keep Nigeria heartbeat on a, to continue beating. And because you are deceiving yourselves, because you have never woken up to tell yourselves the truth and say that no, enough is enough, they will continue to do what they are doing unapologetically. They will continue to treat you like a third class citizen of Nigeria unapologetically. As long as you continue to settle for the third best, not even second best, third best. You have seen this man. What is the name of this? Ezife. Chief Ezife. May his soul rest in peace. Chief Ezife was clamoring for Igbo presidency. But after that, he did not even say any other thing. Even when he is on his dying bed, his plan was to have Igbo presidency. We never knew that he was even sick. Talk more of the time we got the news of his passing. This is the way you will be living a dream to become Igbo presidency, or to be alive to see Igbo presidency. You will be dying one by one without seeing it. The same thing will be applicable to your children if you do not change the status quo. That is the reason why we are calling for the change of the status quo. Now, if you think about it, let us say that no, we didn't need Igbo presidency in the last 50 years, maybe because there is adequate hospital infrastructure that caters for people, even rich and poor people, who will make use of them. Let's assume if there is the reason why you didn't care, you settle for the second best or third best. It is because your own people are able to access hospital, medical emergencies, whether they are having money or not. Is it happening in our land? The answer is no. Is it happening in Nigeria? The answer is no. There is no hospital. If you have accident, ordinary people who are not professional will be coming to separate you from where you are stuck in a vehicle, instead of the government ambulance and the emergencies services to come and help you, assist you when you have a road accident. You will not. You will just find people being traumatized. You will see someone's head is decapitated, and it will be somewhere, and the children will be passing looking at it. It will be ordinary individuals who will be bringing these things and placing them together. Unprofessional people. Even whilst are they doing that, they are traumatized. While they are doing that, they are traumatized. They are just good Samaritans. But many Nigeria does not understand what is called trauma. They don't understand what is called anxiety, because trauma leads to anxiety, and it will be affecting you. You might not know. That is the reason why when they want to beat up their children, they beat them like animal, because they beat them with the frustration of all the trauma they've gone through, that they can no longer communicate. They can no longer control. They lay this frustration on the children that is around them. So many of them are doing it. Not all of them. Some of them are still in check, because some of them are, exposed. They go to see psychiatrists, or they go to see therapists. So in situations like that, you will not even find a therapist that you will go to, because you don't have money. You cannot afford them. These things are privilege. It is not something that is affordable. It is for special people. So whether the accident that occurred due to lack of road infrastructure, that is supposed to be made available by your government. Whether it occurred because of that, it does not matter. This trauma, you go through it yourself. I know many people believe they are strong. Strong when psychological trauma hit you, you go collect, you go believe. A lot of people does not know what is the meaning of that because they don't know. They will be going through it. Now, that is exactly, do you see any adequate road infrastructure in Biafra land? The answer is no. Do you see seaport to say that no, they have done everything we needed, whether we be there or not, it doesn't matter. Do you see that? The answer is no. Do you see electricity? The answer is no. Do you see pipe borne water? The answer is no. Do you see sewage system? The answer is no. So what exactly is the reason why we are stuck up in this mess called One Nigeria? Why are we here? Stockholm syndrome is really at play here. Stockholm syndrome. And all these politicians, they are going through this Stockholm syndrome. Biafran politicians, they know that they are not getting up to that place where they're supposed to be. The only thing they need, just like maybe you assume that when Ezife finished, said that when he was saying that if we do not get Igbo presidency this time, we will know that we don't belong here. They could call him and say, relax, don't worry. Once I assume office, I will put you somewhere. But on gun, he can get put you somewhere. He don't die. The same way all of you will be saying, no, we have faith, tomorrow it will be better. 4 years, Peter Obi will go there. Peter Obi go, if Peter Obi go there, even after 8 years, if Peter Obi make it to be the president of Nigeria, Kakam bend there. That is when you will realize that it is Atiku's turn. That is when it will become Atiku's turn now. You people are just fooling yourselves. In everything you do, you are fooling yourselves. And you are not realizing the extent of you fooling yourself. The extent you are going. The ignorance that is actually at play here. To the extent that this man came to tell you that it is now you are being integrated into Nekuyeba. Nekuya. Nekwe Shetima. Nekuya. Also, no kita kunu batawani na politics in Nigeria. No kita kunu batawana politics in Nigeria. You are being integrated. By whom? So there are people who are more Nigerians than the others. So if you understand that there are people who are more Nigerian than the others, what then are you waiting for to be Biafran? So that you will not have anybody who will be more Nigeria than you. So that you will not have anybody who will be more Nigeria than you. Just one moment. One moment. So, that is the reason why Shetima is telling you, reminding you. Shetima is the one reminding you that you are now being integrated into the mainstream politics. Before, I play you the joke now. Because sellout no go allow you to understand waiting there. And the people who are selling you out are your politicians. They are the ones selling you out. So the selling you out will never allow you to understand exactly what is playing out. Now Shetima Fulani man is telling you, hmm, you are now being integrated. Wow, what an insult. As a baby now, baby, who have who risks everything in Nigeria, who is benefiting Nigeria. Shetima, you need to remind Shetima that before the amalgamation, the promises that was given to them was that the amalgamation will be this to solve the budget deficit of Shetima and his people. The amalgamation of the southern, or will I call it the southern protectorate and the northern protectorate was to solve the budget deficit of the northern protectorate. Now the people that was brought in, we were amalgamated with for us to solve their budget deficit, is now telling you, hey, now you are being integrated into the mainstream. Mmadụ pụta ọsị m na ndị Igbo na ndị Biafra ma ife. Mmadụ pụta ọsị m na Biafran people nwere ọgụgụ isi. Unu enwere ọgụgụ isi. Ndị a na-achị anya achị, ndị akpọrọ onwe ha ọha na eze ndị Igbo, Igbo elite, unu enwere ọgụgụ isi. It will look like we are insultive. We are not insultive. We are stating a fact. We are being factual here. You people have nothing to offer. In the last 5 decades, you've been pushing us from pillar to post, from post to pillar. We have not benefited anything, not even ordinary seaport, which is not supposed to be a privilege for any place where there is water, where there is a sea. It is not supposed to be a privilege. It is supposed to be a necessity, a basic need. But it is in Nigeria, it becomes a privilege, and they select where they have to build these things. Can't you ever see that these people are actually marginalizing you to make sure that they control your billionaires, to make sure that they are the ones who choose who becomes billionaire and who becomes poor? And when they choose who becomes billionaire, the billionaire will become your oppressor. Can't you see that? Of course, you cannot see it. The reason why you cannot see it is now Stockholm syndrome. It is all about now, it has boiled down to survival of the fittest. Whoever survives takes it. 100 oranges to 1,000 people who are severely hungry. What will they do with it? They kill themselves in order to get scratch of the orange. That's exactly what they have done to us. That's exactly what they've been doing to us. And unless we begin to change the way we reason and the way we do this approach, unless we begin to understand the importance of boycott and innovation, we are not going anywhere. And this boycott and innovation must be enforced, minimal. It must be minimally enforced so that our people will begin to integrate themselves into freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of doing business, freedom of vote and be voted for. We disassociate ourselves from the people who don't desire us. We are undesirable in Nigeria, but because there are few individuals who are actually made in order for many of you who are suffering from Stockholm syndrome to be looking up to those who are already made, so that you will be having hope that one day it will be your turn. That is exactly the reason why they have to make you few millionaires. They will be clapping for you anywhere you go. If you know see Igbo man return, nothing that happened there. That is a big curse. It is a big curse. The people who are making money, very few people who are making money in Biafra land, they will never join the process of setting their people free. because Nigeria is benefiting them. They are the ones who will be sabotaging the process. So that is the reason why you don't need to look up to them. We make rules, they will follow it. We make rules, they will follow it because we are the majority, they are the minority. When we make rules, when we boycott, they must follow the process. Enforceable boycott, they will follow the process. How are you going to achieve it? If everybody will agree, stop going to Lagos to do your investment. Stop going to Lagos to build your mansion. Stop going to Lagos to build your business. Put money together, build a seaport, pay tax to the government. Let us establish this capitalist economy, but the capitalist will be the local people. You business people become the capitalist. Invest. In fact, you can even buy government project. If you say there are rich people in Biafra land, you can buy government project, build a seaport so that our people will return home. When you return home, you have boycotted those places where you are doing businesses that you are not desired, that you are treated like nobody, that you are, of course, so many of you are treated good because you are part of the problem that your people are going through. Those who are not treated good will leave those who are treated good behind. Because as in Uzo Telondaka when so. And of course, it is at play. That is the reason why you find e-money going to daily dallying with this guy who is dealing with Igbo people in Lagos. So it means that what they are doing is not affecting them. It means that what they are doing is actually benefiting them. Maybe they have to remove some people who are into business in order to favor them who are already on top. Because as a come on, that is always the way it is. And unless you gather yourself together and support the movement, you will never be free from these few individuals who are, being used, who were established by the Nigeria state in order to use them to intimidate and, to use them to make you believe that there is something achievable in Nigeria. There is none. How many of us are outside the country? Millions of us. We are not in Nigeria. We are doing one of two. Many of you are doing menial jobs where you are. As we speak, people might still be trying to cross Mediterranean Sea to escape that Katanga called Nigeria. Can't you see? Why are we fooling ourselves? Why do you think that your governor will make a decision that will work in your favor? Because the money that belongs to all of you can take it out for himself without anybody holding him to account. Why do you think they will make decision for you? Why do you think that those senators will make decisions for you? They will not. That is the reason why it is very, very important that we join force and push this move for secession so that we break free from this, economic dungeon called Nigeria. We will break free, whether they like it or not. Today, Palestinians are being heard. Their discussion is everywhere. Their discussions are everywhere. They were not going to be, they were not, doing businesses with, in Jerusalem and doing their, relating with the, their the ones they call their oppressors. They were not relating with them, but our own people are relating with our oppressors. And we can never be heard if we don't boycott and innovate. We will never be heard. Like I said, it cannot only be done through guns and bullets. Boycott and innovation with minimal enforcement. When we boycott, that is the only way we will be able to achieve this in a golden platter. In a golden platter. But in a situation whereby you, as an ordinary person, who when you lend your hands or when you actually support the boycott or support the movement, that the things will be easy for everyone to achieve what we are looking for. If you are not doing it, it might come to the time that boycott will affect you. Because as in Akuro Fuebe Kilimon. That is the reason why when I look at this guy in Finland, this agent in Finland that is always giving you from one promise to another promise, from another promise to another promise. And so many of you, you look at what he's doing, you are following him. I become, sometimes I look at our people, I become discouraged because if somebody just come from nowhere giving you promises from year to year, one promise, none of it has been achieved. All he tried to do is to destroy the formation of the Eastern Security Network that Nnamdi Kanu actually created, and the reason why he is suffering in the DSS dungeon today. Somebody is coming to tell you this, tell you that, you are believing them. You are so stupid. And I've seen so many of those stupid people who are still in the struggle, regardless of those who are fighting the agent in Finland. There are people who are also fighting him who are more stupid than those who are following him. There are still them. There are still them. But it is very, very important for you to know what you are up against and what you are up to. So many of you, the way you judge one another, the way you profile one another, it is mind-boggling. The way you profile one another, it is mind-boggling. The way you profile one another, it is mind-boggling. So, our people, you allow yourself to get confused very, very easily. Very, very easily. You just get confused. You allow yourself to be deceived. You allow yourself to be deceived very easily. That is the reason why the same people some of these people whom you see that are suffering today, a lot of them are actually suffering. A lot of them are actually worse than those who are in the position of leadership, who are in the position of political space. A lot of them are worse than them. It's just that they haven't had the opportunity to assess that position to show you shege. But you will never, they will never change. A lot of them might be in the front in this place claiming they are fighting for freedom. But they are not fighting for freedom. They are fighting for opportunity. They are fighting for opportunity. That is what a lot of them does. But it is very, very important for our people to know and understand the message Shetima is sending to you. Let us continue to read the Shetima's report. Vice President Kashim Shettima has stated that the process of integrating Igbo into mainstream Nigeria politics has begun. Shettima was quoted in a statement signed by Levinus Nwabuye Ogu, the chief press secretary to the Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu on Sunday. He was quoted while speaking after the conferment of traditional title on him and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. Robert Chukwudilim Eze Okafor. 6. Now, unu na-echi Tinubu ji nwata nwa unu na Shetima ji nwa unu na mkpọrọ. Unu na-echife echichi n'ala Igbo. Chukwu kpọọ unu ncha niile ọkụ. Unu na-eje echi ndị ji nwa unu na-echi n'ife echichi na wee na-asị fa ngwa fajide nwa unu gawa, maka na nnwere onwe anyị na-azọ ọ dịrị unu mma. Nnwere onwe anyị na-azọ is not for you people. Like I said to you, once they have access to the position where they occupy, they don't care about any other person. That is the worst problem that these people you see that have been, that have been used by the politicians. They don't care. It is very, very bad. Michael Jackson bad. Now, let us continue to hear. The Igwe Ukpo, or Ukpo, and clan head of Dunukofia, so all Ukpo, yeah, Ukpo, as long as Anambra State. Clan head of Dunukofia, ancient kingdom in Ukpo. Ancient kingdom in Ukpo. Hi. Dunukofia local government of Anambra State get here, Shetima and the Tinubu. Echiefe ọzọ. Echiefe echichi. Hi. Ndị Igwe anyị na-akpalikwa n'onwe unu. Do you know that every other African nations, the president pays homage to Igwe? President pays homage to Igwe, whoever that becomes traditional ruler. But in Nigeria, it is bastardized. Igwe nwere eze. We have come to realize it. We have come to realize it. And we will never have. Because all of them are now being politicized. Before they give you a traditional ruler who are supposed to be the custodians of the land, that the politicians supposed to actually respect, so that when there is an election, if you are in the good book of him, he will mobilize his people to, support you. But this time around, they install their own person in a traditional leadership position. That is the reason why. And Igwe Dunukofia, I am disappointed. Igwe Ukpo and clan, head of Dunukofia. I know that you have also, ancestral origin from Nri, from Agukunri. I believe. Ndị kaji ọfọ, ndị kwesịrị ikaji ọfọ ndị Igbo. Unu na-echizi ndị ji nwa unu na-azọ nwere onwe fụ ụmụ Igbo na ndị ọzọ sofa. Unu eje na-echife echichi. Hi! It is a big insult. It is a very, very big slap to the face of our people. But let us continue. President Tinubu was honored with a chieftaincy title of Eze Udo of Igbo land. Eze Udo of Igbo land. This king and these people are very, very, wicked. Eze Udo of Igbo land, immediately he ascended throne of office. Our people houses, mansions were demolished in Lagos. Our people were treated like nobody in Lagos. That is Eze Udo Gadikunu, she's the same person. Hi. Meaning king of peace in Igbo land. Hi. While Shetima was also decorated with the title of Enyindi Igbo, meaning a friend of Igbo people. Chai! Akwa Agwam. In fact, I am done reading. I'm done reading this shit. Akwa Agwam. Chai! Igbo onye mere unu ife a. Ndị Igbo onye mere unu ife a. Otu aka when Tinubu was doing his campaign in the election, in the eve of his election, some people who call themselves priests, they followed him. When they were running Muslim ticket, people who call themselves Christian priests, Christian stomach priest, they followed him. Of course, we know Christianity is created for the sake of religion, politics, to support politics against the black people on this planet. That's exactly the reason why it is, created. Because if you look at it, Christ is not a Christian, and there is nothing that relates Christ with Christianity. Believe you me, Christ is not even spelled CHR, the one they call Christian. It is concussion of these people who just brought us, politics, this type of politics, Western religion, Western education, Western everything, Western hegemony against us. That is the reason why these two work together. But it is imperative for us to understand that while following, we are not advocating for the ban of Christianity, because if you like it, you follow them. You have freedom of worship. You have freedom of whatever you want to do. If you want to worship, whatever. But we actually conscientize our people so that they know that this thing you are following, this is the advantage, this is a disadvantage, this is what it could do. If you want to take it, if you want to leave it. There is something the Bible said, the scripture said, two ways, ife ọma na ife ọjọọ, nke solo onye osolu. Mana ọ bụ na ọ ga-ekwe gị isolu ife ọma. Mana our people does not see ife ọma. The people who believe they have seen ife ọma, fejego sowe alụsị apịrị apị na-eso Matthias. Fejego sowe Matthias efe alụsị apịrị apị. Now I want you to understand that, when I criticize Matthias, I want you to know the primary reason why I criticize him. So many of you are actually clamoring for us, living on the Christmas day, we do masquerade day. Or on the Sunday day, we do Omenana day. Let me be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. All those things you are trying to, do, believing that you are bringing a significant change to these things that was given to you by the Western hegemony, you are actually promoting it more. In fact, you are promoting it more. If you say that Christianity gave you church and you don't like it, and the Christianity created their church and they gather on Sunday, you as anti-Christianity, you went and create your own church gathering on the same day that the people who gave you Christianity created for you to gather. Are you not a Christian? I want you people to tell Matthias that he should stop deceiving himself. He should stop deceiving himself. He is practicing Christianity in the still in the denial that he is against Christianity. You cannot start telling me that, I want to reject Ekwensu. As in the people who gave you these things made it to be, make you to gather on Sunday. They map out the date, Sunday for the day of their sun god, the day they worship their sun god, for you to gather that day and do whatever you are doing. Some people gather and they pray. Some people gather and they clap and dance. So on that day, you claim that you have now boycotted the Western, religion and the Western culture that was given to you through their Christianity religion. You claim you have boycotted it. But on that same day that they have established, is the same day you are gathering your people in the name of Ndo Menanai. Something is wrong with you. If you are not ignorant, it means that the Stockholm syndrome is at play here. Because if I say it, I know so many of his followers who are uninformed, who does not have critical thoughts, who are actually that is not exposed, they will start telling Judge Money. And the latest thing they have learned to tell anybody, when I am proving the fact that the Bible was written by my ancestors, and of course it is. It is. Many factual informations are there to prove it, and I am going to continue the episode until I'm done proving to you that we actually gave birth to Jesus Christ. The man they call Jesus Christ today, Yeshua, Ihowa, whichever one you know him, it is our progenitor that gave birth to him. So all these things I will prove to you with the Bible when the time comes. Don't forget that the reason why Bible was copied everywhere, anybody can translate Bible, can have the author of King James, New Standard Version, Revised Translation Version, this new NIV, CSV, Good News, this and that. It was because on the 4th century when the Bible was being copied, the manuscript or scroll were being copied. It was just a copycat translated. Copycat, group of copycat gathered, translated Bible, copy it into, in fact, gathered manuscript and scroll, which was written in CBD, gathered it and compiled it into a book. And that is the reason why they call it Bible. When you hear the name Bible, it simply means a book. A book. That is the real thing you call Bible. It's a book. Even though people say it is a instruction before leaving the earth, that is a fallacy. It is just what people concocted in their mind. The meaning of Bible is a book. They concocted the manuscript, which was, picked up in different places, written by my ancestors. They compiled it and copycatted it into a book. They copycat into a book. They translated it. Then, after 1,300 years of that copycat that they did, they invented or they introduced what is called copyright. Because if copyright was introduced before 4th century, they will not have taken the Bible from our ancestors and do copycat and make it a book all over different versions and send it back. No, they weren't gonna do it. It is now because of 17th century was when this copyright was introduced. Otherwise, they had no copyright to the Bible, to the manuscript. They had no copyright to it. They just took it because they were colonizing. If you understand, during the time of David, that was the time colonization started. That was the reason why David wrote the Psalm 83. That's when David wrote Psalm 83. When it comes to his son Solomon, forget about this English name. All of us have English name. Forget that, because when we talk about David, we say it is an English name. It doesn't have anything. David is my ancestor. He's a tribe of Judah. He's a tribe of Judah. So when we talk about, all of you have English name. So for you to know that translation started from there. The colonization started from there. Read the book of Psalm 83 for you to understand when the colonization started, when they started fighting the strongest kingdom. That's why when Christ came, they had to kill him. They had to kill him, because if they do not kill him, a king that is stronger and bigger and actually, that is actually having more influence than the Roman Empire was born. They were actually moved. They were jealous. They were insecure. How can we allow this black man dominate the world? Because this black man is a king of Judah. How can we allow him to dominate the world? That's why they eliminated him. And they gave you now their own Aloshi with blue eyes. And they give you platform called Christianity, tell you that the name of Jesus was Christ. The name of Jesus was Christ, Chrisist. Then they call it Christian. You agree? He has no name such as that. He had no name such as Christ with CHR. It was these people who were translating and writing their own stuff. Even some people, when you talk about all these ancient Hebrew text, ancient Egyptian text, or when you talk about Anunnaki, you talk about Anunnaki text, you find out, you will see elements of Igbo languages in Anunnaki, which was written by Sumerians, or which was the explanation was given by Sumerians, you will see Igbo names, Igbo things inside that Anunnaki text. So many people believe it was where they copied and called some part of the book of the Bible, Genesis. And the people who are using all this type of book and telling you that the scroll or the Bible belong to Europeans, trying to prove to you that the scroll or Bible belong to Europeans, it's a lie. Even those books that they are using to try to teach you that has respect for the Bible. And that's why so many people like that will not allow to come for a debate, because when they go deep into these things, you will inform them. You will tell them exactly what is going on within those books that they are using, telling you it was copied. They tell you Akhenaten story and the Mansa Musa story was copied and the name so. No, those things are fallacy, a serious fallacy. What we know is that the names were changed to English names so that it will suit their own people. People were given English name. The same way me and you were given English name. Colonialism started long before time. David cried about it in Psalm 83. Now Solomon went and married so many wives from different race, which brought about different alosi in our land. Different type of alosi in our land. Because whichever people, Solomon, if you marry India, they will bring their Lakshmi, their god of Sita. They will bring different god from their own land. They will establish it and worship it. That is why we have our own people who came from our progenitor in the South Indian. In South India, we have people of our progenitor. In South India, it is Solomon's doing. So all these things, you will understand that these people, plan their game very well. They plan their game very well. They gave you that day of Sunday because it is significant for them. It is significant to them. So you saying that you are boycotting Christianity, yet you created your own church worshiping on Sunday, you are still under Christianity. Tag Matthias to hear what I am saying. Tell Matthias that as much as he is fighting those who are affiliated with Christianity, he is fighting them out of ignorance because he is a Christian. As long as he established his time, they to worship on the day of Christianity establish their own. He is still under the domination of Christianity. And it is a common sense, but we know it is no longer common. It is no longer common. I was the first person who criticized such thing he did, but so many people gathered against me. It's a problem. Please leave Matthias for us. Using the picture of Nnamdi Kanu. Using the picture of Nnamdi Kanu. I am not against what Matthias is doing, but let him do. If you want to be different, let him be different. You can't say that I boycott this and you are doing the same thing. No. You boycotted, you say that pastors are taking people's offering and money. The same thing you are doing in your church. If we ask you, you will say no. The reason why we are doing it, you want to start building factory. Who is giving account for that money people are donating in your church that you want to build factory? If you build factory, will it be a community service or it will be Matthias and Sons factory that you are going to build with that donation people are giving in your church? Nobody will want to tell you this because they are scared of people insult in the comments. I don't give a hoot. Okay? I will tell you the truth. If you like, you acknowledge it. If you like, sweep it under the carpet. That's your damn business. As long as you say you are boycotting Christianity and you claim you have established your traditional religion and you are gathering on Sunday, you are still promoting the Western hegemony of Christianity. You are still promoting it. And you are promoting it to the highest order. Some people who say we will change the day of the 25th of December, which is Christmas, to another thing, to some festival, you are going to be promoting Christmas. Whether you change it to festival, that day you will still go and gather. The same way you gather in the Christmas day. Why don't you boycott it totally and create another day for your own thing? That is when you are making a difference. Otherwise, we are fooling ourselves here. And it makes us to be more ignorant. And our enemy will be looking at us while we are under these things. And when we provide you a historical fact, you call us a religious extremist or religious fanatics. And because I presented to you a historic fact, if I tell you that Bible was written by my ancestor, you will tell me that I am a religious extremist without you knowing that your ignorance is actually a top notch. Because when anybody asks you what is Judge Money's religious affiliation, you will not be able to say that Judge Money is a Roman Catholic or is a Christian or is a pagan, or you will never tell Judge Money's religion, because I have never for one day come here to promote any religion. I have never promoted any religion, but I am, each and every time I come around, I state a historic fact, telling you that the manuscript and scroll was written by my ancestors. The people who created Christianity took it and copied the text of this manuscript, translated it into a book, and used it to back up their Christianity doctrine, because they know that the manuscript, the text can be, decontextualized. The text can be placed in a wrong context. In a wrong hand, the text can do evil. And if you call those things a slave book, you must know that your ancestors are slave masters. If you call Bible a slave book, you should understand that you are calling your ancestors slave masters. We shouldn't start making some certain statements, out of ignorance. You should make sure you try to find out what exactly, where did this thing come from? If it is a slave book, your ancestors are slave masters because they authored it. They wrote it in a manuscript. Before it goes to the hands of the enemy, they brainwash you with it. It is not the fault of those who wrote the book for your benefit. It is your fault because you did not look for what you own. You are only looking for mirror. You are only looking for what is shining. You never looked for what is going to be beneficial to you. You never looked for it. So when we state a historical fact or truth, don't see it as I am supporting I don't support any religion that is existence in this face of planet. I don't support it. But if there is a historical fact presented by any religion, if I see that it is aligned with the truth that I have discovered, be it from the Egyptology, the books that talks about Egyptologists, or this book that promote the studies of Egyptology, or archaeological findings. If I know that I have come across it, I will support it. But when it comes to religion, I don't have any religion. I don't believe in any religion. But I know that the book that they use as the book of Christianity is no book of Christianity. It was written by my ancestors. And it is the book that gave constitution to the world. It is the book that gave moral value to the world. It is the book that told the world the origin of mankind. Our ancestors wrote it. Go to check every Egyptian book. They know the story of Adam and Eve, but some of them will tell you about Nephilims. Because many of you will ask yourself, how can it be Adam and Eve be the first man created? They were fallen angels already. They were fallen angels. Before God said, let us make a man in our own image. Those fallen angels, they were giants, they were doing their stuff, but God now made us in his own image. All of these books that people are using to quote for you because they know you cannot afford to buy them. So many of them are expensive if you try to buy them. But the most important thing you should know that all of these books actually have the same story of the creation. But they told you if they talk about the Anunnakis, those are seen as the, you know, superhuman or people who fall from the, fallen angels who were on earth. That's what they were, they were immortal beings. So when we talk about, if you go to the book of Jubilee, it tells you the same story about Adam and Eve. It is only somebody that is who call himself Biafra person, freedom fighter with the picture of Nnamdi Kanu. We come and tell you, and they told you Adam and Eve was the first man. They will come and doubt it. But every historical books actually identified the story of Adam and Eve. Many historians identified the story of Adam and Eve. But people will come and tell you out of ignorance. And they have never come across any of these books. They have never come across any history. Just that they heard from Matthias that Jesus will be anwalun, without them understanding the real man that was impersonated in the name of Anya Blue, the man with Anya Blue. What was his work? Because without fake, there will be no original. It is very important that you actually speak about what you know. Before you come and display ignorance in the social media, you make sure you do your research. So that when Judge Money will come tackling you, you will not say that Judge Money, I cannot stand you telling lies to our people. I cannot stand you telling lies that I have come across the truth, and you are saying opposite to this truth that I have come across. I keep quiet. It's not possible. Do the right thing, man. If you say you are boycotting Undoka, boycott them and choose yourself for yourself the day you are going to have your own ordinary gathering. Choose it for yourself. Because those people who chose Sunday, they have it is actually significant day for them. So when you continue to gather on that day, you are promoting the significance of that day. Regardless of whatever you think you say you want to believe in, on the way you want to do your own stuff. It is very, very important. And we should stop all this madness of we are going back to our root, but you don't know which route you are going to. Everybody will want to go back to root. Going back to root, going back to root. Where is the root? Where is the root? So that you people will not live according to rules. Because when we talk about the manuscript that was copied into the book, it created a rule for our people, the way we should live life. Whether you live it and go contrary to the rules, that is your business. And you should understand it is your business. Don't make your ignorance another person's business. And you should understand it. I know that many people, what I am saying, but at the end of the day, the only thing that will stand tall is the truth. It is the truth. It is not conspiracy. It is not because I hate this person, I hate that person. People, when you talk about the book, the Bible, they tell you that the Pope said that wasn't working. What in concern Pope and the Bible? Bible gwa gị na ihe o ji destroy ya Sodom and Gomorrah. Bible gwa gị ahụ na nwoke na ala nwoke. Pope gwazi unu na-akụzi unu evodozie ya Bible. Pope gwara unu evodo ya Bible. Mana Bible gwa gị na amụnye Sodom and Gomorrah ọkụ maka nwoke nla nwoke na nwaanyị nla nwaanyị. N'ọnya ka eji mụnye ebe ahụ ọkụ. Na unu ewelugo ihe Pope kwuru vodo ya Bible. Enwebeghị ihe Bible evunabe. Maka na unu dị scared to read what is written. You are scared to read. Even if you read, you cannot understand. That has been the problem. And that's why somebody will use it to brainwash you. What you are scared to actually assess is what people will assess and use it to brainwash you. Because so many of you want visa, but you cannot go to embassy to get the requirement and put it together and go and apply for your visa. You will make somebody to go and do that for you. They charge you to do it. And they will lie to you na haji we go te kwen kanu we go te bank statement o you go te bank statement o ya 100 million or 1 million or that is because you did not want to go and get the direct information. It's a because you are scared to open the book, to read the instruction, to understand it. Don't make it another person's problem. But to tell Matthias that in as much as he is keeping Sunday worship, he is a Christian. He stopped deceiving people in the name they have moved out from Christianity into Ordinana. Tell him so. So that is actually a digression, I think, because it is as an abalabala fellow or bulala. Balabala fellow or bulala. Now let us go back to it. I want to prove to you that Nigeria, who claim that IPOB is the problem, they have done away and dealt with the Boko Haram and their associates. That it is only the struggle that is deterring them from the peace in Nigeria. Let us read the latest ordeal that took away the life of 140 people, Fulani terrorists. That is actually proving Mazen Nnamdi Kanu right and proving Nigeria wrong. I am going to read it from a newspaper. Now, I want you to also understand. Let me bring this. It has also a video. It has also a video where one of the survivors are actually narrating their stories. But I am not going to capitalize on their story. Let me read it so that the world will know the reason why Eastern Security Network is a savior. The reason why Eastern Security Network becomes a savior in Biafra land. Regardless of what you may think about it, they are the savior of Biafra land. And the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the biggest savior for ordinary Nigerians, not only Biafrans, ordinary Nigerians, because it was his preaching that brought about Amotekun to protect the land of Oruduwas from Fulani invasion. Now let's read from the Reuters. Nigeria villagers missing 2 days after suspected nomadic headers killed 140. Nomadic headers, Fulani, or suspected nomadic headers. These are terrorists. Because when you come to Nigeria, they leave the real terrorists on the loose, and they will now go after those that are anti-terrorists, those who prevent terrorism from overtaking their land. Nigeria will go after them and make them the enemy. Now let us read further. Kano, Abuja, Nigeria, December 26, Okwana Boxing Day, na egori. Nigeria mother of three, Grace Godwin, was preparing food on a Christmas Eve when her husband burst into the kitchen and ordered her and her children to run and take cover in the bush after gunmen were spotted in nearby village. Soon they heard gunfire, starting an hours-long attack by suspected nomadic headers who rampaged through 15 villages. Rampaged through 15 villages. That is the reason why these people hate Mazen Nnamdi Kanu so much, because he stopped them from rampaging in Biafra land. He stopped these terrorists from rampaging in Biafra land. Then he becomes the enemy. Now they had no choice than to go back to their land and rampaging. Soon they heard gunfire starting. Okay, officials rampage through 15 villages in central Plateau State on Sunday, killing at least 140 people with guns and machetes. Officials, police, and residents said. Okay? Una afube ife. Una never see something. Ọ sị gị na ọ bụ na nkọcha tọọ gị ụtọ na ị ga-eyi ya dịka uwe. Nkọcha, ọkwa ọ tọrọ unu ụmụ aboki ụtọ. Una go wear am like a sackcloth. It was the bloodiest violence since 2018 when more than 200 people were killed in Nigeria's central region, where clashes between herders and farmers are common. We returned at 6 the next morning and found that houses had been burnt and people killed. There are still people missing. Godwin said by phone. There is one in Mayanga village. Women and children have all fled. It was not immediately clear what triggered Sunday's attack, but violence in the region, known as the Middle Belt, is often characterized as ethno-religious, chiefly Muslim Fulani herdsmen clashing with mainly Christian farmers. How? How? Let me give this one. Let me give him something. Whoever that wrote this news, let me give him one. He deserves it. He deserves it. No, I think he must take one. Yeah, take this one. You deserve this one. Whoever that put this news together, you deserve this one. Because all these things that we've been saying over the years, that Fulani, they want to Fulanize you. This is not Zoom media. That is the reason why it wrote this news unbiased, because I don't want to get it from the Zoom media. Zoom media will never write it the way it is. Zoom media will write it with a biased mind. That is the reason why I decided to get it from different media that will write it unbiased. They say that it is what Fulanese, nomadic Fulanese, whether they call it nomadic or not, on the and the disciplined Fulanese or whatever, civilized Fulanese, it doesn't matter. The truth of the matter is that the Fulanese are killing people in Nigeria. The truth of the matter is that the Fulanese want to take over the villages in across Nigeria in order to Fulanize you. Now, the truth of the matter is that Buhari is now being welcomed into the position. Tinubu is now being welcomed into the position of Fulani. Fulani mecheche gị ihe Tinubu ị ga-afụ n'anya. Ọkwa if you non Igbo with your problem, Tinubu believe that it is Biafrans that are his problem. Fulani will deal with you. Like I said, Fulani will deal with you. One day you might even end up having cardiac arrest because of what Fulani will do to you. I have said it before and I'm saying it again. After Fulani is done dealing with you, you might even be in the office and have cardiac arrest. Of course, you know that the Fulanis did not like it that the power shifted from them. They don't like it. And you are aware of that. You know that you went to the position of leadership, against all odds. So the Fulanis are now coming back. During election time, they piped low to see what is going to happen. But let's see 2024. If it is going to be a good day, a good time for Mr. President. I know you are still in the recovery process of what you lost during the eve of election. But time will come. It is coming. Pressure will be too much that you will not know what to do again. Pressure will be too much. That's when you will realize that you are old now. Tinubu, in the position you are today, hot soup, pressure from Fulani will be too much that you will realize that I am old now. The body is tired. That is actually the trajectory. Of course, it doesn't sound like a threat. It is the trajectory that I have been actually telling you how it is going to be. The truthful Nigerians knows very well that Nigeria is not right, can never be right. Fulani want to overrun you. Where is that stupid boy called Ijele, who is always protecting Fulani? Tell Ijele, ask Ijele, is this Eastern Security Network that went to go and plateau and kill 140 people? Is it Eastern Security Network? Those bunch of ignorant, bunch of illiterate, bunch of uninformed, because they gave you small money. You go to social media and start demonizing your people to protect killers. To protect killers. The same thing, Law Banta, you protected them. I want Ijele to come out and tell us if it is Eastern Security Network that went to Plateau State and killed 140 villagers, raided 15 villages, killing 140, displacing many thousands. For you to see that all these recruited idiots in the social media, they will fizzle away because the truth will come out in the open. Many of them want to have soft landing with this nonsense religious and the Omenana nonsense people are actually trying to propagate. They try to have safe landing with it because they know that it is the only place where they will be accommodated with their rubbish and lies and stupidity, because that place is full of ignorant people. Going back to our root is quite important, believe you me. But we need to know what is our root before we go back to it. You cannot wake up one day and say that I am going to, you are walking to Jos from Biafra land when you don't know even road to go to Jos. It is stupidity. You need to ask questions to know the nook and crannies of the road that you are going to use to go to Jos. You need to ask questions to know if this Jos you are going to go, if it is actually what you want, where you're supposed to go. But our people, you don't ask question. All of you, both people who hated even, who hated the truth, they will tell you, no, we are on our way to root. Afụkwunu mmugu nke a na-evuru Simon egbe n'ọfịa. O fukuzi Baịbụl yiri sutu atụrụ, onye a wee ezigbote atụrụ na-amara ife. Ọ sị na afịa ahụ, kedu onye ọ kpọrọ afịa? Ọ sị na afịa ahụ dị gịnị? What did he call his name? Ọ kpaziri isi otu a, atụrụ na-amara ife. Onye gbara afụ ọnụ, disguise himself, kwesịziri otu ọ kpụchagoro afụ ọnụ, ọ kwụsị ịpụta na social media ka ọ wee jụọ oyi. Ifu na onye a wee ezigbote utulo enweghị onye na-eso nwoke manọ na Finland isi dị mma. Onye kwesịrị otu ahụ ọ disguise o jezie zuo ike mana ọ ga-ajụgodo oyi na-alụ niile o mekọwa, ofufutekwa onwe ya bụrụzie Baịbụl na ọ na-achọzi we are going back to the root. Ọ ebe fa na-enweta safe landing. Ndị na-amara ebe a na-eje betafachi ivu ụzọ. That is always the problem I have with so many people. But that is not that is by the way. It is very, very important for our people to understand that Nigeria will never be for you. The lies that is being perpetuated in Nigeria on a daily basis, the conspiracies that is going on in Nigeria against our people on a daily basis, we are actually the cheap laborers of Nigerians. If you don't know, you know it. Biafrans are the cheap laborers of Nigerians. Those people in the coastal region who followed Asare Dokubo to go and sleep in Abuja for 3 months in defending your turn and your mandate, Asare Dokubo have left you behind, lying to you that Tinubu did not do anything for them. The one they gave him before he started, where is it? That's what question you should be asking Asare Dokubo. The one they gave him before he started, where are they? The reason why he is coming out to come and act as if so that we will start telling him we told you. Who is going? We don't need to tell you we told you. all those games you are playing. Go and settle the people who slept in Abuja with you, because they gave you that money. Go and settle them. They gave you the money for the Niger Delta. Go and settle them. You cannot say that this is the worst government. This is the worst government. Niger Delta people have said that this is the worst government. Who cares? Who cares? Go and settle the people you use and go and slept in Abuja to defend their mandate. Stop lying to them. All these things you people are doing, you see all these things you are doing against your people, you will all actually see how it is going to end. Because our people, you can deceive people, but not for a very, very long time. You can deceive them for a long time, but not for a very, very long time. One day people will wake up to realize that they are being deceived and they can bear it no more. Then you will find them agitated, and you will find them realizing where they have fallen short, and the time of reckoning is at hand. And that is exactly what is going on. We need to understand and we need to make sure that we remain resolute. And don't forget, the most effective way to achieve our freedom: total boycott and innovation. Through boycott and innovation. That's the way we are going to achieve it. But I believe we have done it. And this is where we are going to leave it. Onye mara asụ ọsụọ n'ikwe. Onye amakwa na asụ ọsụọ ya na mkpụrụ ụkwụ ya. Ọfụọ ya ụfụ next time ọsụọ n'ikwe. Ife anyị nọ na ya bụ egbe belu ugo belu nke si ibi ebe na nkụ akwa ya, because na anyị nwawo ndị Biafra, we have suffered enough. We cannot continue to run away from our motherland because of we don't have opportunities there. And we are gone, we go somewhere doing many jobs, being treated badly. No. When we have a place, a kingdom that we just need to rebuild, we just need to do one or two and rebuild our kingdom for the sake of our posterity. And we can only if we actually believe, only if we have the zeal to do it. Stop deceiving yourself. All this small change, all this small money you are boosting for today, tomorrow you die. Maybe the money is just coming as a result of errand you are running. Your children, are they going to continue to run errand? No. Make a better tomorrow. How you make your bed is so you lie on it. People don't understand the reason why God took away immortality. God took away immortality so that there will be reincarnation. That is the reason why there is no, God took away immortality from human, because he replaced it with reincarnation. So that when you die, you will come back. What are you coming back to do? You face what that thing you've been acting up. You don't want to fix it. You will fix it. You will face it in a very, very bad way. Many of us are facing what we could not fix in our previous life. That is what we are facing today. And don't think that death will do you path from that such responsibility. After you die, that's where you will start feeling the heat of that. That thing which you've been in the denial of fixing, you will come back and repeat. Chukwuemeka Ezife. Onwe ka amụ gị somewhere now n'Igbo land now. Ebe eji eze ekpe ekwele. I'm telling you. Onwe ka amụ gị ebe eji eze ekpe ekwele. O wee na-eto. Ọ na-eto. Ọma mmanụ ife o mete mgbe ọ dị bụ before. na a na-agwa ya lapụ politiks ka anyị chụwa nke anyị ka anyị dozie Biafra land ka e nwee ụlọ ọgwụ. O nwere ka ọ gbajie aka ọma mfe ụlọ ọgwụ ga-agbụ ya aka. Otu o si dị. What goes around comes around. People don't understand when we talk about reincarnation because of what you've been fed or all these years. You won't understand it. Everything you do, what you sow is what you will reap. You will never run away from it. That is the reason why, if you have opportunity to do good, do it to the fullest. Don't do it hoping that you are doing it for the sake of somebody else. Do it for your own benefit. If you have opportunity to build road infrastructure in Biafra land, build it. If you have opportunity to fight for our freedom, fight it, because in Mareba Amuyechi. Onwe ka isi na atụgonu m odu nwụọ amụọ gị iweleze kpele ekwele ọkwa iweleze kpele ekwele ọnụ ukwu na amara na ndị anụnwa dị poor, too much poor. No ifefa mete ka ha ji dị poor. Ọ na-apụtasị gị ife ndị gboo mete ịma na ọgụ ọwa onye gboo anwụ metere ya. Reincarnation, that is immortality. You die, you come back. You die, you come back. You die, you come back. That is the reason why you will see somebody. Will tell you there is a hereditary disease. Hereditary illnesses is because you were there before. That illness was with you. So you came back, you continue. That is actually continuity. Continuity. That's why it came back with you. And you believe that coming back with you believe that the poverty you actually maneuvered will not come back with you. It will come back with you. Except if you make your own bed in a good due process, good ways. When you return, you face it, you will be on it. But as long as you are crooked, in on a politics, hospital, when you die, you will come back and walk a big jeze pelekwele man we go jail no obeli ye ga emege or tag go. That is the reason why if you sow good, you reap good. If you sow evil, you reap evil. That is the reason why I don't want you to like me. Many of you don't like me. And you don't just know the reason why you don't like judgment. And I don't need you to like me. I don't expect you to like me. But the truth is what I have to tell you. Don't like me. My decisions is my own decision. I make it, and I slept and wake up, I make my decision. I don't just wake up and make decision. There is always a reason why I make some certain decision. And if you can't respect that, if you cannot respect that, that means you will not like me. And I don't need your love. I don't need you to like me, for goodness sake. I don't have friends. I don't have enemies. I don't have any. But if you don't like me, don't like me. But take this advice I am giving you. Drop me behind. Very, very important. It is the reality of life. It is not bluffing. Until we meet again, stay safe and stay informed. Let me acknowledge those in the comment section. Some of you in the comment section, let me acknowledge you. And Maazem Mado, that name sounds well familiar. Maazem Mado, Ndewo Maazem Mado for joining us. Maazem Mado said IPOB are wise now. I believe. Is it what he said? He said IPOB are wise now. All right. Nkechi say free Maazem Nnamdi Kanu. Oh, Ikechukwu Nnaji. Welcome, Ikechukwu Nnaji. And good evening. Good evening to you. Chukwudi Aku. Chukwudi. Is Chukwudi Akutamada. Akutamada. Ndewo Achineke. And I see you, Chinasa Pauline. Chinasa Pauline. Ndewo Achineke. Chiedozie Chidi. Chidozie Chidi, Emeka Amoke, Emmanuel Aka, Emmanuel, let me see your full name. Let me see your full name. Emmanuel Akabueze. Akabueze. Ndewo Emmanuel Akabueze. Chukwu Okike Abịama bless our leader Maazị Nnamdi Kanu and bless DOS Eastern Security Network IPOP under Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Bless Biafrans all over the world. What's the name? Emeka Amoke. Oh, nice one, nice one. And we know we might not be able to Omepeni Ndewo. Omepeni, you are formidable. Regina Samson, you are formidable. Ifeanyi Chukwu, you are formidable. Maazị Paul Achebe, Ndewo nwa Chineke. Nwanne nke m, Ndewo. Uchenna Ehi. Uchenna Ehi. Let me see it. Let me see. Uchenna. Oh, Uchenna Ehinne. Ndewo. Uchenna. I might not be able to mention all of you. Edumako Mike. Oh, Edumako Mike, say you thought I am fighting Simon. He said he thought I am fighting Simon. Edumako Mike, I don't have time to fight Simon. We have exposed him. Simon is an agent. He's a double agent. So, like I said, it is time to focus. I don't have time to fight him because we have created awareness on him. That's why I don't have time to fight him anymore. You know, anybody who does not know what Simon is, that person is ignorant, and that person does not worth my time. It doesn't worth my time. There is time for everything. You know, if any so there is time for everything. The time of fighting the Belima is gone. So it is time to do something else now. So Nigeria government wish to use him to keep us busy. We cannot dance to the tone of Nigeria government. That is my policy. Once as in egwu change this style now, in amuta na as in keke to inu as in egwu change style now, in change dancing beat. That is very important. Once you continue to fight Simon, I get postpone the Ipe Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. That is exactly what Nigeria government is doing. So that you will continue to fight the person whom they claiming that it is their enemy. Since they have claimed Simon is their enemy, let them deal with Simon. Why do I need my time that I will spend to research to see what I need to do to help my people, or need to expose the activities of the enemies who are using Simon? They said the Simon is their problem. Let him be their problem. I don't have time to fight Nigeria's problem. They've said he is their problem. So let him be their problem. And they are promoting him like that. So I cannot promote him anymore. So if you leave him, he will die a natural death. That is very important. There are people who are supposed to be fighting him. Those people whom he deceived. If they come and keep quiet, those people who he deceived, people like Emeka Livingstones and Mando Tulotofa, all those people need the fight to be not somebody like me anymore. I don't have time for him. Or they may exist. He doesn't exist. He is in the bottomless pit. I am too big a fish to be caught with a penny hook. So let's continue. Chidoski Gold, you are welcome. Kara Gold, you are welcome. Thank you for joining us. Chinanyo Kole, Jude Matthew, Amarach Max, among other of you. I might not be able to call all of you. Thank you for joining us. All of you deserve this. Thank you for joining us, and all of you deserve day. Until we meet again, share the video. Don't forget, the rule is that if you cannot like the video, don't share it. That is the rule. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay informed. Shalom.